5 minutes. That's how long it took. Let's go make this super cute Valentine tote bag. But first, always remember to share this so it will save to your profile and you can find it when you're looking for it again later. I found these precious placemats at Home Goods. Look how, actually, this was not a placemat. I did find some placemats too, though. This is a table runner. So I took it and cut it, and we're gonna make a cute bag out of it. Let me see what my note says. I cut 2 pieces, 19 by 19. That's this piece and this piece. And then I cut 3 pieces, 6 inches wide by 19 inches. I have 2 pieces of cotton canvas that are 44 inches long. These are gonna be my handles. So the first thing I'm gonna do is sew my handle on while my bag is flat. I can sew it on afterwards, but it's just so much easier to sew it on now. I'm gonna sew mine on like this, and I'm gonna sew it right here, and then I'm gonna bring this up and tie a knot. It's so cute. So my handle strap, this canvas webbing, y'all, I've called it everything except for what it is. Cotton webbing. This cotton webbing strap is 44 inches long, and I'm coming down about 8 inches from the top on both sides, and then I'm going to sew it right here. And I came in about 4 inches. This is 4 inches from the edge. So I need to come in 4 inches, and I need to go down 8 inches, and then put my pin. I'm gonna do that to this side and then to the other side. And when I sew it, I'm just gonna sew it across like this. Right here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on both sides. Well, on these 2 straps, and then on these 2 straps on the other side, because this is my whole second piece. So I have that piece done. Now I'm gonna do this piece, but I'm gonna lay them back on top of each other to make sure that my straps generally are in the same place. I chose to make my bag square because it made the measurements easy for this tutorial, but if you wanted to make it shorter or wider, you could make your straps longer or shorter also. It would be precious as a cute little bag, or this is great for like a market kind of bag. Okay, I've pinned mine on where I want them. Now I'm just gonna put it underneath my machine, and I'm gonna stitch and back stitch a few times because I want it to have some strength. I'm gonna do that on all 4 straps. I found this table runner at Home Goods, and it was so cute. I wasn't sure what I was going to make with it, but I knew I had to make something. But you could do this exact same bag and use placemats, or you could make it out of fabric. So we've sewn our straps on. Now, we're going to take one of our pieces. Now, they're all the same, so it doesn't matter which one, but if you choose to make your bag shorter or wider, make sure that you're cutting 1 piece for the bottom and 2 pieces for the sides, because if they're a different size, then the 2 on the sides would match and the 1 on the bottom would need to be whatever size the width of your bag is. Okay, so I'm gonna take one of my pieces and I'm gonna lay it right here. No, I'm not. I'm going to do this pretty sides on the outside because I want this frayed edge on the outside of my bag. So I'm gonna put it just like this. Pretty side and pretty side. So I'm gonna put one pretty side face down and one pretty side face up. And we're gonna sew down this side. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop, because my grandma said so. Now, I've sewn one side on. Now I'm gonna sew the other side on, same way. One pretty side face down and one pretty side face up, just like this. See that? And I'm gonna sew right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam, back stitching when you start and when you stop. Now I'm gonna sew my bottom piece on. So we're gonna sew it like this, and this gets a little bit tricky, but it's not hard, I promise. And if you have to take it out and put it back together, guess who also did? More times than I can count. So we're gonna open our whole bottom up just like this. Do you see that? And we're gonna start by sewing this right here. Straight stitch, 1/4 inch seam. Then when we get to the corner, we're gonna turn our whole entire piece and come down the bottom and then turn our piece and go. When we get here, we're gonna turn it again and we're gonna come and sew this. All slow and steady. That's the only secret. It looks complicated and it sounds complicated, but I promise it's not complicated. But you know what is complicated? When you sew it wrong and then you have to stop and take it out and re-sew it. And I know y'all are yelling at me because I didn't realize I was sewing it the wrong way until I did realize. But thankfully, Sally, my seam ripper, is my good trusty friend. She was there to save the day. So after I realized I was sewing it wrong or had sewn it wrong and took it out, I sewed it again, this time the right way. And you're going to sew it exactly like I showed you, only turn your fabric over if you want the raw edges on the outside like me. Okay, so I sewed it on upside down and then I had to take it off and sew it back on because I had the outside on the outside because it's hard for my brain to do not pretty side to pretty side just like yours. Okay, so we've sewn the 3 sides to the front or the back. Now let's sew our other big outside piece on right here. So we're going to put the side of our bag, pretty side face down, and the front or back of our bag, pretty side face up. And we're going to sew until we get to the corner. When we get to the corner, then we're going to turn and sew across the bottom and then turn and come up the other side. And then we're going to have the cutest Valentine bag made from a table runner that I got at Home Goods. This is another great project that would be perfect made out of quilt scraps. You know, those pieces that you have left over, and you can make your bag whatever size your pieces are. Large bag, small bag, mini purse, crossbody, little tiny bag for your little people. Whatever scraps you have left, this is a great project for them. So now we've sewn it. Look how cute this bag is and how big and roomy. All right, now I'm going to take my straps and let's make sure I have the same strap. And I'm just going to wrap it around like this and tie a knot. You see how cute that is? Super cute and super easy. Now let's turn it over and do this side. Y'all, I might make these for my teachers for Valentine's Day. This was the easiest thing I have made. One of my students last week, one of my Tuesday ladies, made a bag like this out of her quilt scraps. Let's check it out. And it turned out so cute. I was so jealous. Oh my gracious, this is perfect and super roomy. It would be great for a teacher or for travel, or you could make it a little shorter, wider, longer, whatever it is you like. My name is Tammy. I'm your favorite sewing teacher, and I would love for you to come sew with me.